Welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a stock analysis of Applied Digital Corporation. So if you like this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And of course, remember this isn't financial advice. This is purely for entertainment and educational purposes. Now, what does Applied Digital Corporation do? Well, they're in cloud services and data center hosting. Now, you might think, well, what is that? Well, of course, you know what a cloud service is. That is when they offer cloud storage systems, but data center hosting as well, because we know AI's data centers need a lot of power and they need a lot of server space, and not every company that has AI has the server space. That is where Applied Digital Corporation comes in. And they are quite new within this niche, but they are doing quite well and they are getting huge contracts all the time. And they're just currently quite huge in it. And they also have some blockchain technology as well. Now, if we take a look at the stock, as you can see, currently we are trading quite high up. As you can see, we were all the way up here in 15, but that is not the peak. We have to go all the way back here. As you can see, previously we have traded quite a lot higher, all the way up here in 25, but you have to know they did back in 2022 make a reverse stock split. For if you had 6 stocks, you would then get one, which is quite bad to see because this rarely happens. And if it happens, it is usually because they don't have enough organization. The stock price isn't high enough to stay on the Nasdaq, so that is most likely why they did that. And you can see the stock laid flat for quite a while, as you can see, all the way into 2023, still at 3. Then we did see a few spikes going into mid 23, and then it went down quite a bit again and up. So as you can see, it's quite a volatile stock. You can also see that down in the beta, it moves 3 times as much as the average index it is in, so quite volatile. And now recently, it has been moving up quite nicely. Of course, that is also because, as you can see here, positive by 89%, 57%, and 22%. So quite nice recently. And of course, this is great to see because data center hosting is going to be huge in the future. And I just learned about this company recently, and my analysis say it's a huge buy potential. And I might wonder why is that? Well, they have 2 things I like quite a lot. Actually, 3 things. Of course, I'm going to show you right here. They have this data center hosting, as you can see, they've only started really making money on that in 23, which because they had to make huge investments, but now they have the infrastructure behind it, and they're also big in AI data center hosting, so that is nice to see. Cloud services as well, so if someone of their customers want data center hosting, well, they have cloud services as well as blockchain digital infrastructure for encrypted messages within a company, so it's quite great. They did have some aviation technology and production staffing, but they don't really do that anymore. So as you can see, if we just remove these, as you can see, so overall, these are the things they make money on now. And as you can see in the financials over here as well, it's really not that impressive. And the reason that their net income is so poor is because they're investing more and more, and it's quite expensive to build. And that is why it's great to hire companies like Applied Digital Corporation if you're a company which doesn't own data centers. Now, as you are going to notice, I have drawn this blue line here, and you might think, well, what is that? That is the next support level. And as you can see, even though we have risen quite sharply, we have quite a poor day, down by 3.2%. And as you can see from the peak in 15, we are down quite a bit. We're down almost $3. And the support level here, if the stock hits this, chances are it's either going to then go down like so. As you can see, let me just change that here. And you might think, well, why is that? Well, in technical terms, because it's quite psychological. If something hits previous support lines or breakthrough levels, they can rest on them and then increase, and they can rest on them and then fall through. Chances are, if it lays here and it's going to trade sideways and it falls through, it's going to fall quite sharply, and vice versa. If it lays here and it then spikes back up, it's going to most likely rise quite sharply. Now, what do I think is going to happen? I think this one here is more accurate. I do think, well, no, actually, I do think it's going to trade sideways a bit. So I do think it's going to trade a bit sideways, maybe not for that long, but I think until at least mid-June, it's going to trade a bit downwards once we hit the support level, which I think is going to happen. So let me just remove these 2 again. I think it is going to hit this, and then it's going to trade a bit sideways and maybe even a bit down, just because I think people are a bit worried that it's a bit too overpriced at the moment. Now, I don't own any stock at the moment, and that is, of course, because this is my technical analysis of it so far, and I do think it's going to fall down, and of course, I want to buy the stock as cheaply as possible. Now, of course, we can also fall even further down, but then we would have to go all the way down here somewhere, and I just don't see that happening right now. If we break through this and we trade downwards, then it's going to happen, but of course, that is in the future, and I won't speculate on that. Now, as you can see, you also have to be quite wary as we don't have a price to earnings on it, which means that chances are it's overvaluated a bit. But then again, if they make something amazing in the future and they get huge clients, they are just going to skyrocket. And it wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the year they're in maybe $25, $30, so up by more than 100%. As you can see here in the earnings, they have surprised the past 3 times quite nicely, and hopefully they're going to do so next time here in 72 days. We won't know, but let's hope they do. And now as you can see, they don't pay out any dividends, surprise, surprise, and as I showed you already, that's because they don't make any money. Now the seasonals on this stock, as you can see here, let's just go back to 2010. As you can see, we have some years with insane gains. As you can see here, 11,000%, which is completely, let's say, unreliable because that's crazy. But then again, we have years like this, 2020, 14, 23, insane gains. Then we have some years down here with minus 90, minus 90, minus 80, minus 75. So as you can see, if you trust the process and think it's going to increase, well, it's going to be great for you. If not, well, you might be shit out of luck. But let's just remove 2021 like so. Look at it. As you can see, we have some quite great years back in 2002 where it was first traded. But as you can see, given the fact we can't really see most of the numbers down here, means they have quite many years with minus. So of course, be a bit wary as it is quite a volatile stock. We also know that look at this. So some years we have insane gains and some years we really don't have any gains at all. So of course, be quite wary about that. Now, in the technicals, as you can see here, currently it's a buy for the day, and for the month it is a strong buy, and that is of course because, as you can see down here, we hit this bottom down here on 3, it increased all the way up to 15, which is 400%, so absolutely insane, and we are still 300% up from that price point at 12, almost because it was 3.3, so still we are up quite high in the price, but if people like me think it's going to increase in the future, well, chances are it's going to stay this high. Now, if we take a look at the analytics on this, as you can see here, it is quite amazing. As you can see, we have 8 strong buy and 1 hold. And as you can see here, the max up here is less bullish than I am. It says 18. Maybe that's more realistic, maybe it's not. But I just think that we see sometimes companies like this where they have great tech and the chances are they're going to do amazing. People are a bit too, we can say they don't believe in them enough and then it just goes crazy. And that is the case on this one, I think personally. So I think this should be 25 to 30. I do think it's going to increase more than 100% from where it is now, even though it already has risen 60% this year alone. Now, annually, as you can see here, we don't expect to make any proper EPS, earnings per share, that is, until 2027, where they expect to make $0.50 on each share. But as you can see, they're expected to earn or at least lose less and less, so that is great to see. And I do think that is going to happen. And as you can see in the earnings as well, the revenue, as you can see, it is expected to just rise rapidly, and we know we are going to need more AI data centers, and I do think this is going to be a huge play in the future. So I think if you get on this now, it's going to be absolutely insane. But of course, remember, this is only my opinions and my analyses, and I, of course, could be wrong, and it could go belly up tomorrow. Now, something you have to know about this stock is they have quite a lot of debt. They're about 140% of their total cash reserves in debt. So that's, of course, also why they're so volatile. So, of course, keep that in mind before you buy anything, because if the interest rates skyrockets, well, they are definitely going to be shit out of luck and might need to go back, need to sell more shares at a lower price or do more stock splits. So, of course, be careful about that. And as well, they don't have that many insanely huge clients yet. But then again, as you can see down here in the financials, they only started properly doing data center hosting and cloud services in 2023. And once we can see the revenue for 2024, that's going to be very interesting. And I hope, and I do think they're going to be at least 3 to 4 times higher than this currently in data center hosting. Now that was my analysis on Applied Digital Corporation. So if you like this video, as I said, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And of course, if you want to see any other videos in any other companies, please leave those companies in the comment section below and I will check those out.